A young girl is transported into the world of fantasy and adventure in our next movie review. Hello to everyone watching, and thank you once again for returning both to WeLiveFilm.com and RealScreenReviews.com. I am movie critic Nick Yakabuchi, and our next movie review is for the animated spectacle Epic. This colorful fantasy opened in wide release right around Memorial Day 2013, and it stars the voice talents of Colin Farrell, Josh Hutcherson, Amanda Seyfried, Johnny Knoxville, Steven Tyler, Jason Sudeikis, and Beyonce Knowles. Epic comes to us from director Chris Wedge, and he is the previous director of such hits as Ice Age and Robots. He now steps up the maturity level on this feature, but tries to keep all of the fun from the first two successes. This tale tells of a teenager named Mary Catherine and how she is magically transported into the world of the forest and into the battle that rages there as well. Mary Catherine soon finds herself caught between the forces of good and the forces of evil, and to call her a fish out of water would be an underestimation. Now, she soon aligns herself with a less than stellar group of heroes, and do they have what it takes to save both their world and hers? Well, people, to call this movie visually stunning would be the year's biggest understatement, and it was so brilliant that sometimes I actually forgot that I was even watching a cartoon. However, just like The Great Gatsby from just last week or Oblivion from a few weeks back, Epic looks magical and wonderful, but unfortunately just comes up short. This film was very unoriginal, copying other stories, and Alice in Wonderland and Fern Gully came to mind as well as others. Then when I compare a movie like this to last year's The Secret World of Arrietty, I just shake my head and wonder where they went wrong. It has all of these characters and all of these personalities, but every one of them is a character with a lack of depth or substance. While watching this, it very much felt to me like every character had about a paragraph of backstory, and that was really about it. It is almost as if the filmmakers did this so we would understand the personality of the characters. However, they did nothing as far as developing these people going forward. Then Epic sports all of these big names for the voiceover work, and then the film doesn't really let them strut their stuff in any way. To me, it was as if they only put all these big names in the movie just to sell tickets. Beyonce was very good in her voiceover work, and you could tell that she really dove into this character. Aziz Ansari and Chris O'Dowd were really good as the comic relief. However, to me, most of the voiceover talent felt like it was completely out of place. Josh Hutcherson lacked in his entire heroic baritone, and he reminded me of Mel Gibson from Pocahontas. And that's to say that it just didn't work. Normally, I very much enjoy Amanda Seyfried, but felt her miscast as this strong heroine, and I kept thinking that Emma Stone or Kristen Stewart could have easily done a better job than her. Farrell, for once, is speaking in his own natural Irish voice, and that was a welcome switch, but his voice didn't fit this character or personality at all. To sum it up, the cast was really very weak. Now, I will concede that Epic has some really good action scenes, and as I stated before, the movie is fantastic to look at. I did see this movie in 3D, and the 3 dimensions was worth the $2 extra. You do have to admire the obvious references to being a decent and good person, and also the film's embracement of the earth and being green. Then I thought that it was very cool that they moved so fast that we don't even see them in the real world, and that was displayed in the background a few times, and it was actually very cool. At 1 hour and 42 minutes, Epic wasn't so much a long movie as it was a giant disappointment. This is the definition of watching the trailer and being completely snookered, bamboozled, conned, swindled. Pick your verb, I say. What really hurts for me is that I was so very much looking forward to seeing this film, and it just did not hit the mark on any level except for visually. This film is filled with half-developed characters, mostly bland and below-average performances, and no real humor for the parents and accompaniment of their children, and that makes me wonder how in the hell could there be 5 credited writers on this project to begin with. Now, with all of those minds, they gave us no Genie from Aladdin, no Kung Fu Panda, and no Z from Ants. This film is going to be remembered just like Romeo and Juliet, Megamind, and The Ant Bully, or not remembered at all. Nick's Real Screen Review is a very dismal recommendation of 1 1/2 stars out of 4, and that's for the unkempt, unoriginal, unintelligent, and unacted good movie known as Epic. Well, I'm afraid that's all the time that I have today, and thank you so much for stopping by. If you have enjoyed this review, please click like below and give me a thumbs up, or subscribe to either or both We Live Film or Real Screen Reviews if you haven't yet already. I'm sure that I'll be back soon enough with more movie and trailer reviews, and until next time, people, this is Nick Yakabuchi saying I'm not always right, but only when it comes to the movies, and thank you very much for your attention.